You can see 6,495 floating and $1,800 in realized profits. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about how I'm managing my alt shorts and the state of the crypto market. So this is my paper trading account as well. You see it's up 12,000. Let's log out of that. Welcome in, guys. I assume that you know me and that's why you clicked on it. If you haven't, then welcome in. My name's Travis and I create highly efficient and profitable trading strategies and turn them into computerized systems and eventually uh, automated systems. But this is a manual trade and we're going to talk about it. And this trade is discretionary. It does have a setup, but a lot of it is based on a concept of relative weakness, which we're going to get into. So let's get into it. So this video, we are going to look at the state of the altcoin market, but a lot of it is just managing this trade itself. Now, I'm interested in shorts on alts in general, just as an evergreen thing, because altcoins are, to me, they're fundamentally bearish. They're weak. It's the easiest asset, tradable asset in the world to create as an altcoin. All you do is you go to pump.fund and you list a token. It's stupid how easy it is to make an altcoin now. It used to be harder, but it's hard to make a sovereign nation and create a forex pair. Very hard. It's hard to, you cannot even create a new commodity really. It's been done. Very hard to do that. And it's hard to make a new stock. It's a little bit easier than the others, but it's super easy to make a make an altcoin. So they have no use case hardly, and they're all just printed money. So I'm very interested in, as an evergreen strategy, shorting alts. My preferred setup is to short at failed breakout to the all-time high, and the reason why is because I, for me, as a trend follower, the longer the trend, I make exponential gains. So if we take the monthly low, I'm set to make over $20,000 on the trade. But if I had just started now, I wouldn't necessarily make that much. Why? Because I've added to my position many times. I started up here, but actually my average entry is now this is around 0.84. So my average entry is only here. And there's worlds where I get stopped out of this. It wouldn't actually, my entry's higher. There's worlds where I get stopped out of this for a win of around $2,000. And I will accept that for the chance of a massive win. I really believe in home runs in trading, just staying alive and making home runs. That would take this account from 6,000 to $25,000 if that happens. And then if I was able to do that again a couple times, it's a great year. So let's start from the top down. Um, the total three market cap, to me, we're in most likely a bear market just because we had our phase one uptrend following our um, phase four consolidation. If you guys seen my market cycle video, we have our phase one uptrend. This is on the altcoin market, was parabolic. And this breakout came after our consolidation here, which was a phase four consolidation. And then to me, we're having a distribution and then potentially a downtrend. So this is some higher time frame analysis. We broke this trend line. I'm not looking for price to go to zero. I don't need it to make money. We broke this trend line liquidity. We appear to be in a downtrend now. We're under the 100-day moving average. We're still above the 200, but we're under the 100 on total 3 and on total 1. Now, we do see that the stock market, if you were just to look at the NASDAQ, we would think the market's strong, but we're lacking breadth. US 2000 does not look strong. US 30 does not look strong. EU 50 does not look strong. JP 225 does not look strong. The Australian stock market does not look strong. And then even if we even go to the stock market itself and we look at the advanced decline line, the yellow is basically what the average stock is doing. The average stock is not making new highs. It's just a couple small caps like Nvidia that are pushing the highs. So my idea is to find the weakest shit and short it. And what better place to do that than the altcoin market? I don't need the whole market to go down. I just need to find the right asset. So I started off with shorting some different ones from all-time highs. One of them was Ohm. Another one was Flocky, which I actually um, got into this one late and actually transferred a lot of my risk to all my risk to Ohm. Ohm's the only position open that I have. Ton and Kospa, you say they all have the same setup, right? And most of them, Tons happened later. Flocky would have been really good if I had started from the beginning, but I didn't, and it's okay. Um, but the way I choose assets is take a stab at a bunch of them, and then whatever's the weakest, just add and add and add. So I'm going to show you why Ohm has been the weakest. Okay, so this one would have worked. One thing that I am looking for is I'm looking for a close under the old all-time high. And also it's better if the all-time high is at least 15 days old, which happened here. And has happened here, happened up here. And also actually hasn't happened with Ton. Ton actually hasn't broken. So I have lost a little bit of money. No, I lost like $1,000 trying to short Ton a couple times, and it's not really cooperating. I'm just gonna wait on it. It's been relatively strong, so let me leave it alone. Same thing with Caspa. It's just been relatively strong, so I decided to leave it alone. That said, there are some other weak ones that I have positions on. WIF is the only one where our trading system triggered along right here. So it's been long since March 24th in the breakout on WIF, and then hasn't taken profit and advanced its stop and added on right here. That's the market timing pro system. Now, some of them are strong, some of them are weak, right? We see green days on some of them. So let's go back and look at the total market cap. The total market caps. So if we look at the total market cap, the last 2 days have been green on the total, and total 3, the last 2 days have been green. On Ohm, the last 2 days have been red. Okay, so relative weakness. I want to find the weakest shit. So we're seeing relative weakness there. Let's look at Ohm BTC. Continuing down, right? So now we're going to drop to a lower time frame. As Ohm has come down, okay, it had a move down consolidation, move down, wide consolidation, move down consolidation, and it's currently at right under the bottom at the bottom of its range here. But we notice it hasn't made a higher high. It's been pretty weak, right? And if we look at Bitcoin's been somewhat weak, but has made higher highs, right? ETH looks strong, right? It came all the way back up here to this high. Side note, I'm not long anything, but if I want to be long anything, it's ETH. I'm interested in ETH longs. I need the system to give me a signal though. The system got stopped out down here, and we get long again with the break of the of one of these highs, or if we came and took out a monthly. But I'm just waiting. And the reason for ETH being strong is because of the ETH ETF, which is supposed to come. And if we look at ETH BTC, there's a lot of capital that's flowing from Bitcoin to ETH now in anticipation of this thing happening. But back to the 1 hour and looking at some of these others, you see Kospa has been steadily going higher, retracing the dumps. This one looks kind of weak. That one looks kind of weak. WIF has been pretty strong off the bottom, making new highs. Ethereum name service, it's an Ethereum related one, has been pushing higher. Nod has been strong. BNB has been pretty flat. Solana has been somewhat strong. I want you to get a sense of look at these ones, how they're trending upwards, and during the same time, has just been bleeding down. Now, I actually added heavily to my position in advanced about an hour ago, and the reason why is with the open here on Sunday, right in the open, there was a huge push up across the market. Well, I wouldn't say huge, but a pretty sharp move up. Take a look at this move up on ETH. Nice push up. Bitcoin has retraced it, but it had a nice push up. Flocky didn't really. Ton didn't, but a lot of them had a nice push up. If we look at total 3 and total, there was a nice push up here. But what did do? It immediately retraced the whole move and is dumping to new lows. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on the chart relative strength of a stock on the 5-minute, and we're going to compare it to ETH, which is the strong one. ETH USD. And we can see if it's under, this is the 5-minute, if it's under the line, it's showing relative weakness. It's underperforming. And I'm kind of interested in maybe even reducing this. See what happens. Yeah, it's better to have a longer period, I guess. Let's put it at 200. See. Yeah, you can just see how weak it is. It's just underperforming so much since, I guess it had a nice little move right here, but in general, it's been severely underperforming, like super weak, right? It's been going straight down while ETH has been going up, okay? So seeing that relative weakness, I don't know that it will, but it makes me think that we're going to take another leg down here. Because if the whole market pumping cannot even get us to make a new high, how are we going to break out of this? So my expectation is a leg down, and that also made me advance my stop too. So I chose to advance my stop up to here to 0.83. Although if we broke this high, I would consider getting out at 0.7867. But I was worried about price breaking any of these highs, but it's just been making lower high after lower high after lower high, right? On the lower time frame, where again, look how it's bleeding down and compare it to ETH, which has just been powering up. So when it comes to asset selection, if you're correct and you pick the weak asset, you can even stay short when the whole market is rallying and weather those retracements. It might have a weak bounce or no bounce. And the same goes for being long. If you're long the right asset, it might not dump very much. So asset selection is weak, and how do we pick assets? Well, again, I think you just take positions, and whatever's working, you stick with that and you add to it, and whatever's not working, you cut it. So this is where I think people make mistakes and get things wrong. And I'm not assuming this trade is going to work. We might get stopped out here, and it turns out to be a very small win, where I break even the current position and just take the 1,800 profit that's already realized. But to be in this position to possibly turn a $6,000 account into $25,000, how? It's by picking a relatively weak asset and sticking with it. And what a lot of people do wrong is they cut the winning trade because they want to claim a profit and take a win, and they hang on to the losing ones. So if I had done this and I had cut this earlier, and I'm still hanging on to TON, which hasn't moved, and I'm still hanging on to Costco, which hasn't moved, I would be potentially losing or nothing's really happening. But now I have the possibility of a huge win, right? This is what we want is the possibility of a huge win. And that's how we do it. So yeah, to me, this was a great signal of we finally this huge pump comes in, immediately reverses to new lows. If you wanted to be super aggressive, you could even put your stop right here, but or your stop here. But I like leaving it up here. Although again, I would probably, if price starts to take this and move higher, I would consider cutting because at this point I'm expecting it to break down when it takes the new low here. But we'll see. It may or may not. And also, if the whole market reverses, which it might, we're red so far, it's only been 20 minutes, but if Bitcoin decides to give up this whole thing and go to new lows, and the market does, how do we think the weakest one is going to do? It's not going to hold up, right? It's going to be even weaker, it's going to do even worse. So, if the whole market rallies, this thing might not rally, and if the whole market dumps, this is probably going to dump. So let's talk about my exit plan now. So my exit plan is to just take either of these monthly lows. I will start to choke up my stop, but I'm aiming at this second low down here, this second monthly low. If we get there, I actually expect price to eventually come down to 28 cents, whatever, and go to zero eventually. Um, but I'm not that interested in holding this for months for the chance to happen. I'm also not that interested in holding through a major retracement. So I'm expecting if price comes down here, there will, if not before, but if price comes down here, it's not a long, but there will be some kind of um, small rally, maybe back up here. And just knowing myself, I don't want to be in my position when and if that happens. I don't want to be holding. And I'm already being super greedy with this position. I don't need to be overly greedy. If we can take these lows, then it will be a huge win, and I don't need to um, don't need price to come all the way down here. So now what am I going to do? Say that this trade loses, which is a possibility, or I mean comes back up here and fails. If that happens, then my account, I give back most of what I made, a lot of what I made, and I'll just look for that next campaign to trade. But if it works and price comes down here, then um, well, I'm looking for Bitcoin and ETH to give me some signals, whether that's breakouts to the upside or at some point taking these lows or creating a new low in June and taking it in July and compounding my win on this into that. And also looking for other setups across the altcoin market of overpumped coins that um, begin to fail at the all-time high. And then once my position in, it works immediately. So yeah, that would have worked awesome in March. Although it wouldn't have necessarily been that easy to hold because pretty choppy on the way down. And then a big rally here too, right? So, I mean, yeah. So what I have done by adding on and advancing so many times is there's a number of realities, right? And I've reduced the number of realities where I'm a winner and increased the number of realities where I'm a loser. But I've made it so that the number of realities where I'm a winner, I'm a huge winner, right? So I'm personally not just interested in winning, I'm interested in winning big, and I'm willing to accept that risk. And I don't consider it gambling, and I don't consider it wrong if price comes back up and this fails. But um, yeah, that's the way that it's going. And if this campaign fails, there will be more. There will be more opportunities. So right now, very small pump. But again, if we're seeing a big pump across Bitcoin and ETH, Ohm might not follow because it's so weak. So that's where we're at. We'll see what happens. And good luck to me. Good luck to you all. Peace.